What I keep being tuned, caught up by all my demons, lost without the love, and I'm enslaved.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are well and safe during these difficult times. Welcome back to the start of a new era for the Total Villan. Welcome to a new weekly show here on the channel called All Things Villa. As a channel, myself and my co-presenters' aim is to inform and entertain fans across the globe. And we believe that creating content in this manner is the correct way in doing so. So what are we waiting for? Let's introduce my co-presenter. Accompanying me today is a 17-year-old passionate Aston Villa fan, renowned in fan media for being opinionated, eloquent and multi-talented. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Dom. Phillips, Dom, how are you?
My ego feels lovely. Appreciate that. No, I'm doing very well, thank you. Having a good day and looking forward to the start of the season. But how are you doing, Liam? You're the multi-talented young star here.
No,
Come on,
right.
you can't just dish out the compliments to me and then not expect anything back. Oh my God.
I've just been for a run. I'm knackered, to be fair. I've just been for a
I was going out for one later.
First
lockdown, it's got me going.
Fair play.
Yeah,
It's addictive.
lockdown's got me running now. It is very addictive.
So welcome back to the channel anyway, once again. How excited are you to be joining the channel on a permanent basis?
Well, obviously, when we started doing like a couple of episodes on the line together, I was really enjoying it. And then obviously you contacted me saying you wanted me to get more hands-on, more active role. And I jumped at the chance because, you know, I think the Total Villan has a lot of potential and there's a lot of young people, a couple of young people working, make something from what is effectively nothing. We're really happy to be part of it.
So you've met Dom and me, so let's start today's show. Here are this week's headlines. Quickly becoming an Aston Villa legend in the making, Tyrone Mings has impressed on social media throughout this tough period, continually giving back to the Aston Villa community. We explore the importance of leadership throughout this episode within the squad as Dean Smith's side prepare to fight for survival in unusual circumstances. Secondly, according to several reports last week, Aston Villa are set to lose young stars Callum O'Hare and Matika Sarkic due to failed contract negotiations. So what could the club do better in order to make the most out of their academy players? Finally, after the season was ended prematurely due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Aston Villa women have been promoted from the FA Women's Championship. During this episode, we will discuss our favourite moments from that promotion campaign. And also, both Dom and I will reveal our favourite story of the week, as well as Dom will be participating in the first edition of Dom versus the World. So, firstly, let's start this episode. A bit dramatic there, but let's start this episode anyway by talking about the one, the only Tyrone Mings, a man who continues to impress on and off the field. But let's travel all the way back to when he first joined Villa on loan from Bournemouth. I know we've already discussed this before, Dom, but what were your predominant emotions when Mings joined the club, and were you excited by his arrival?
Well, listen, as you've established, I'm quite opinionated. So when you're opinionated, well, you hit the mark on somewhere others don't. You're also completely way off the mark in others. When we signed Tyrone Mings, I thought, great, we've already signed Courtney House. So why are we signing him? He's injury prone. He's probably going to get injured straight away, and it's going to go really badly. That was my honest prediction. I was so wrong. I love nothing more than being proved wrong. And, you know, I wasn't excited by his arrival. I knew he had quality, but I just didn't think we'd ever be able to get it out of him, to be honest. So the fact that he's come so far since his journey is a credit to himself, to be honest, because he proved so many people wrong, including myself.
So Mings became an influential presence within Villa's defence, and in my opinion, was a catalyst during last season, significantly helping guide the club to promotion. So what caught my eye personally after full time at Wembley last season was his passionate response to the Villa faithful's post-match celebrations, as Mings continually displayed his passion for the club. So after years of mediocrity, how refreshing was it to see a player such as Mings, who had only been at Villa for such a short period of time, but instantly fell in love with the badge?
I think he fell in love with the badge because we fell in love with him as a fan base so quickly. Like I think he made his debut against Sheffield United or Reading away, something like that. But whenever he played, he just immediately looked so calm and assured in possession, and such a rock and such a leader at the back that, you know, we attributed all of the positive attributes, and we took that as a fan base, and we took to him straight away. And I think he took to playing regularly and getting loved by the fans. I think he hadn't had that for so long, and I think it really did him some good. And I think that's why he sort of fell in love with Villa the way that we fell in love with him as a fan base.
It was indeed. So now, despite Grealish being an influential presence during last season and this season, to be fair. I personally think
Very.
that we've discussed this before, but many of Mings' characteristics directly correlate with the characteristics of a captain, even though Grealish holds that role. But now, playing behind closed doors, as we're going to, as Villa look to survive this season, do you believe that the captain's armband during such a tough time deserves to be worn by Mings, Samata or Heaton, for example, or should stay with Grealish for the rest of the season?
Well, I think for the rest of the season, we should stay with Grealish for continuity purposes. But I think in the summer, I'd love to see Tyrone Mings elevated to captain, because I think we've seen Grealish this season. Like he's had some real strops on the pitch, and he's looked quite immature at times. He's quite selfish with the ball towards the end. He doesn't really play for the team, which is the opposite of what a captain should do. But if you look at Mings' qualities, they epitomise everything that a captain should be. Grealish's return last season, I think it was more his return than the fact that he was captain, which is what got us to those 10 wins, to be honest. I think whether we had the armband or not, it doesn't change how much leadership he is actually doing, because who is the bigger leader for Villa? Tyrone Mings over Grealish. I mean, Tom Heaton over Grealish. So that's the nature of it. And I just feel like if long term we should be eyeing up Grealish to lose that captaincy role in favour of Mings. I think it'd just be a lot better for him.
Some fair points made there. So, irrelevant of whether he is the captain or not, Mings continues to lead without the armband and will prove to be an influential presence, as I said, in Villa's squad as they are preparing to fight for survival in these strange conditions, if you like. So how important is it that Villa possess leaders such as Mings during this time?
You need leaders, because leaders are what navigate you through a crisis and navigate you through problems. They're the ones who mediate disputes, who reduce tensions, and having leaders like Tom Heaton, Tyrone Mings, I mean, even Conor who around seems like a good dressing room leader as well. And the coaching staff, John Terry, having people like that involved in the dressing room, Pepe Reina, having all those kinds of people involved in the dressing room changes the squad so much, and it really gives it a lot of strength. Even though we do need more Premier League experience, having those leadership type personalities goes a long way in helping on that road.
On the subject of the resumption of the Premier League, Don, what are your predictions for how Villa will finish this season?
I think we'll find it very difficult, because by the end of the season, when it ended, we were like the worst team in the league, let's be real.
Yeah.
The way that we were playing, losing to Leicester and Southampton. But I feel like the break would have done us some good. Playing behind closed doors might do good for some pressure, easing on players like who we see. Training ground plays is the phrase that's often used. So I think we could stay up, but I think we'll find it very hard, especially given the dire position that we're in with 25 points. I think, or was it 27 points? Might be. Something like that. It's a very difficult position to be in. We've got the quality to get out of it, but we've got to play better football. We've got to be set up better. We've got to believe in ourselves. But it's going to take a lot of players to step up massively.
Finally, I think, in my opinion, the squad need to take it game by game, and our next game is next week against Sheffield United. How do you think we'll do against the Blades?
I think we're going to lose. I know I'm being negative, but I think we're going to lose. It's Sheffield United a class.
Dumb.
Then again, I'm sorry, but I'm just saying that. I'm saying the truth. Sheffield United are a brilliant team. I'd love it if we could do it against them. I think we could beat them. I quietly fancy us, but speaking realistically and speaking objectively, come on. The way that we're playing at the end of the season, how are we going to... We can't have improved that much to suddenly beat Sheffield United, especially without the fans behind us, who were so helpful at Villa Park.
Do you not believe that? I know there's negative connotations with this rest period, but with the players now re-energised, we've got McGinn back. Do you not have some optimism going into that game?
I do. As I say, I wouldn't write us off, but I'm just being realistic and saying, I don't know if McGinn coming back is going to be enough in this immediate moment. Then again, as I say, I don't really know, to be honest, because the rest could either go one of two ways for every team in the league. Will it mean that players pick up injuries very quickly and the pace of the game is really slow and poor and the games are really unentertaining and quite different? Is it that some players, when some teams have had worse pre-season, so to speak, than other teams, I think it's so difficult to predict Project Restart because we don't know what shape it's going to take and how teams are going to line up. But speaking from past knowledge, the obvious favourite is Sheffield United.
Now, in every key squad, in every highly successful squad, there is a mix of experience and youth. So let's move on to our second topic of today, which is discussing Villa's Youth Academy. How disappointed were you, Dom, to hear that Callum O'Hare and Matika Sarkic are potentially leaving Aston Villa, young players who have lots of potential?
Well, I'll start with Callum O'Hare because obviously he's been on loan the whole of this season with Coventry, and he's been fantastic for them. If you ask the Coventry fans, they can't wait for him to sign because it is where he's seemingly going. And what we've seen with these players who were like 21, 22, your Davis, your Sarkic, maybe your Doyle Hayes to a lesser extent, but your Jack Clark, O'Hare, these players, they're the ones who the past regimes haven't loaned out. And their development's been stunted because they haven't played any senior football. And now Callum O'Hare's gone out and got senior football. He's realised if I go somewhere else and play season senior football, I'll learn way more and I'll do a lot more for my career than if I just start playing in the 23s for another season. So I think he's a massively talented lad, and I think losing him is going to be bad. But we do have, as long as we don't lose Grealish and as long as we stay up, we should be all right without him. But I just think for the best of his career and because we don't really need him, it's just the right move, really, sadly, even though I would like to see him tied up to a new contract and loaned out to the Championship next season, back to Coventry.
As well, what are your thoughts on Sarkic? Because he was on loan, of course, with Livingston for the most of the season, and he's now being linked with clubs like Wolverhampton Wanderers. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know why he go to Wolves, because he'd just go from being fifth choice at Villa to fifth choice at Wolves. It's
Exactly.
a sideways move completely. But if he feels like a change of scenery is needed, then that's fair enough. He's a massively talented goalkeeper. He had a brilliant season at Livingston, well, half season at Livingston. And again, goalkeepers, he's 22, but goalkeepers 8 on a delayed development curve usually. Most goalies don't hit their prime until like 28, 30. So I think it'd be really real shame to lose him. Again, he's someone that I'd love to see us keep.
Definitely. So as well, Aston Villa have a history of not getting the most out of their star players in their prime for the club. Never mind young stars. Within the past, we've seen players such as Michael Brighton, Fabian Delphin, Christian Benteke, all leaving in their primes to the club for different reasons. So after expressing intent to not sell Grealish for less than 80 million, Dom, do you believe that cases such as the players I previously mentioned will become less of an occurrence, or will we see more young players like O'Hare and Sarkic make that move elsewhere?
I think for now we might see more, like, your Jack Clarks, those players that I mentioned who are slightly on the older side of the youth. I think they'll probably leave. Hepburn Murphy's another one. But I think the younger ones like Jacob Ramsey and Vasilev and Barry, as long as we do their development better by loaning them out and keeping them and giving them promises the way that we didn't in the past, as long as we do that in the future, I think we won't have that kind of problem. For now, we might see some of the older ones, as I say, leave, and that'll be a shame because they might go on and have really good careers. But in the future, when we're managing our talents a lot better, I think Villa's academy has the potential to be one of the best in the country, to be honest.
Specifically on the subject of O'Hare, I remember when I first saw O'Hare play against Peterborough in the FA Cup, if I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, at full time, despite losing 3-1, he impressed in periods during that game. So how important is it that if Villa do suffer relegation, that they potentially have players such as O'Hare who have experience in these lower leagues and could potentially replace players such as Grealish?
Well, if we go down, Callum O'Hare is a direct Grealish replacement, isn't he?
Yeah.
In a lot of senses, so that would be a great player to have. Some of the I know that the way we built the squad is so if we go down, not too many are able to leave. But if we do suffer relegation, have to cost cut, which it would be a reality because of financial fair play. Having someone like O'Hare come in and Vasilev and Jacob Ramsey who can come into the squad as well, having them who can just keep costs down and get themselves minutes gradually along the way. I think that's the kind of route that we need to take. So having these youths who are almost ready to go, but just not quite there yet. If something does go wrong, they'll be ready to step in the Championship. So keeping O'Hare is very important, as I say, because he just replaced Grealish straight away.
So many of Villa's youngsters, like I just said, have experienced first-team football at lower league clubs during this season on loan. So which of Villa's young players specifically do you believe that have a bright future at the club?
Well, because the one that I want to pick is Aaron Ramsey, but he's a bit young and we don't know too much about him yet. The main three that are Jacob Ramsey, Indiana Vasilev, and Louis Barry, of course. Barry, £1 million signing from Barcelona, phenomenal talent there, unbelievable talent at West Brom, scoring goals for fun for the under-18s this season. Going to go into the 23s next season, I presume, and do brilliantly there. Jacob Ramsey done brilliantly at Doncaster, really good talent. We've seen him before as well. Vasilev come in and look strong in the first team. If he gets a loan next season, I think that'll do him some good. So we've got a few talents coming through at Villa. I really do think we have a top academy. Mark Harrison, a lot to thank for him because he's a brilliant appointment.
You talked there specifically about the attributes that these young players own and possess. So what could the club do in order to prevent situations such as O'Hare's happening in the future?
It's simple. We've got to do what the previous regimes didn't do. We've got to loan them out. give them a taste of senior football and give them promises you'll get there in the end. Before, it was just go and play in the youth leagues and we didn't really bother with you, especially with the amount of people like Steve Bruce that felt like that was the attitude. So
Yeah.
I think the new owners are doing a lot better with, Mark Harrison coming in and sending youths out on loan for what feels like the first time in years. Doing that has been a real positive change. I just think the new owners are in the right direction, but you're going to see a bit of hangover delay from the previous regimes on players like O'Hare yet.
Are you eating, Dom?
I didn't realise you could hear me. I'm very sorry.
That's all right. It's all right. It's fine. Honestly, it's fine. I'm just interested. What are you eating?
You'll never believe what I'm about to say.
Go on.
I'm having my first Mackies since lockdown.
Ooh.
I am.
Ooh.
Very sorry. I need to turn down the gain on my mic. Sorry for making you jealous.
I'm very jealous that you're eating a Mackies. Yeah, jeez. I mean, I had my first fish and chips last weekend, and that was really nice. I know, really nice. But anyway, back on the topic of Villa, though. Back on the topic of Villa. Even though Mackies is very nice, back on the topic of Villa. O'Hare, as we have already established, is a talented individual, just like yourself, Dom. However, what do you believe?
Some might say.
What do you believe he could achieve in the future?
I think he could easily become a Premier League player. Goes to Coventry next season, either on loan from us or signing for them permanently. Plays the season in the Championship, learns a lot, does well. Maybe does another season in the Championship. Maybe a couple seasons in the Championship. And by the time he's like 26, 27, he might be able to make the move to the Premier League if he gets a few seasons of regular football in there, bulks up, maybe plays a bit more as a 10 instead of as an 8. I think he has easily got Premier League potential, and if he gets into the Premier League, he could become a decent Premier League player if he gets regular minutes.
Let's move on now from the men's side to the women's side. Finally, Aston Villa women were declared champions of the FAWSL Championship after their season was cut short due to the coronavirus, with the FA Women's Super League, a mouthful there, awaiting Gemma Davis' side next season. So firstly, congratulations, of course, to everyone involved with the club. The promotion is fully deserved, in my opinion, and I'm sure Dom's opinion as well, because they have been brilliant all season, which is why now we are going to share some of the season-defining moments during the past season for the Villa women. So, Dom, let's start with you. What has been your favourite moment from the past season regarding the Villa women?
I think looking back in hindsight, I'd say the opening game of the season, which was 3-2 over Sheffield United, we win a home victory. And I think such a tightly fought, well-battled victory against someone who actually finished second in the league was a really important victory for the team to sort of rally together and build some more belief and get the season off on the right foot. And I think we wouldn't have had this amazing unbeaten streak if it wasn't for starting so well against such a difficult side. It was a really big win for us and played a massive part in our promotion, I'm sure.
Personally, for me, as I previously mentioned on the channel, I was lucky enough to attend a few Aston Villa women's games due to the fact that I worked with their principal partners, God Industry.
Talented individual.
Stop it. Now, for me, I know this response is slightly corny, but I honestly do not have a favourite singular moment. Just to be able to attend Aston Villa women's games this season, to be constantly entertained by their style of play, and to see stars such as Emma Follis and Jodie Hutton flourish in claret and blue. It's been a pleasure to watch Gemma Davis' side. And once again, congratulations to everyone involved with the club.
Massive congratulations. Very excited for next season, I am.
I believe now it's time for a new segment, which is every week Dom and I will share our favourite stories from the past week that are related to Aston Villa. Some unknown, some maybe known by various Villa fans. But last week was a fairly quiet week, but various transfer rumours have been appearing regarding Villa. And I believe that your story of the week is related to this matter.
I mean, when I opened up Twitter, I think it was Monday morning, and it was Greg Evans, Saeed Benrahma, and he said a top target for Villa if they stay up. I was just fist pumping in my desk.
Yeah,
come on. Imagine Benrahma and Grealish out wide with Samatta up front. That's a deadly front three. Deadly front three. I mean, he's a class player. We know how class he is. Yeah. And he's destined for the Premier League. He could easily play for someone like Chelsea, in my view. That's how good I think he is. We were able to get him. That'd be a brilliant signing. So, seeing that Villa are still pushing the Benrahma front for next summer makes me even more hopeful that we'll stay up, because I'd love to see him in a Villa shirt.
Yes, now, my favourite story from the past week comes from the Birmingham Live reporter, Bryan Dick, who explained that in an interview with the Sunday Post, McGinn admitted to feeling anxious when he met Villa fan Prince William for the Heads Up mental health charity campaign, I believe. My favourite quotation from this article was that McGinn said he was very humble and down to earth, and he must be playing Football Manager because he knew everything about Villa. Everything. How cool is it, though, to have Prince William, a future King of England, an Aston Villa fan?
I mean, okay, I need to be careful what I say here. Not every time the Royals appear on TV, I don't instantly grin and think, "Oh, amazing! It's the royal family." But just whenever I see Prince William, I just smile because I picture him hugging John Carew in the Wembley stand.
Yeah,
It's just the image that comes to my head of him fist bumping, or like Prince George. I think it was having a celebration as well.
Yeah,
it's amazing, isn't it, to have Prince William as our fan, and it's amazing for him to be getting involved with Heads Up and the TV stuff and all like that, because really important to talk about mental health in football, and he's a real good ambassador for that kind of thing.
And me and Dom did do a podcast regarding mental health, and if you do want to check that out, that is within our videos that we have created over the past few weeks. Now, normally for our last segment of the podcast, we normally play a game. Before we do that, I thought that I should address you, the listeners, about what content we will be producing on the channel over the next few weeks. So every week, myself and Dom will continue to produce this podcast, All Things Villa, where together we will discuss the latest news over the past 7 days, informing you, the viewer, and sharing our own thoughts on certain topics. Also, I will be hosting a new post-match show, recording after every Aston Villa game, called On The Line Post-Match Reaction, where alongside fan media stars, musicians, ex-footballers and fans, we will discuss the events of the game, share our favourite moments and debate certain decisions. These shows will not be live, but they will be released after a period of time. Think of it of like match of the day, if you like. For our show after Aston Villa versus Sheffield United, we have some fantastic guests. So I look forward to sharing the first edition of that series with you. And our main aim, I'm sure Dom will agree with me here, as a channel, is to inform and entertain. And we hope to create content that will fulfill these promises in a unique way. Dom, do you have anything to add to that?
I just say I'm very excited to see you apply your skills from fan cams into creating this new post-match edition of On The Line. I think it'll be a very interesting show. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I think hopefully when the season gets back when next season happens, or whenever we're allowed back in the ground, we can level it up even further. And again, it's one of those projects that we're doing where there's a lot of potential there, and I'm very excited for it to start on this journey that we're going on.
Finally, it is the moment you have all been waiting for the first edition.
Right, no more Mackies, I'm ready for this.
Versus the world. Dom versus the world. Every week, Dom will participate in a game that will test his knowledge on everything Aston Villa Football Club to the maximum, potentially against another opponent, potentially against himself. Dom, are you ready to find out what this week's challenge is?
Before we do, can I ask you why I've become a crap Coldplay tribute brand? It's Dom against the world.
That means...
My awful jokes aside, please get on with the game.
Now, this week, Dom, your challenge is, drum roll, please.
I can't believe I'm doing this, actually doing a drum roll for you.
Can you name the top 20 Aston Villa Premier League goal scorers? Now,
I don't like you.
You will have only 5 minutes due to I don't want this podcast to be too long, and that's nothing against your knowledge at all, to name as many of the top 20 goal scorers.
Put it down to 2.
For Aston Villa since the creation of the Premier League. I have all the names. I have all the names jotted on my notepad, which is in front of me. I'll be using my phone to act as a timer. And to our listeners, please, if you can, join in or wherever you are, and comment down below how many of the top 20 goal scorers you named in 5 minutes. Dom, do you understand the rules of the game?
I do understand the rules of the game, but I want to preface this. You'll be able to tell by how many I guess that I'm not Googling or cheating any of this. Like, there's no way. I'm no cheating. I'm not that kind of guy. You'll be able to tell very soon, though.
Let me get myself prepared. I've got my pen in front of me to tick off all the names. I've got my phone in front of me as a stopwatch. Dom, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Right. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, so my thinking is I'm going to go for the older one because I'm going to forget those, and I'm going to go with strikers. So, Milan Baros.
Hang on. No. He's not on here.
Okay, Juan Pablo Angel.
Yes.
Yeah. Ian Taylor? Am I wrong?
Yes,
Time period?
you are
Go on,
right.
Dom. Okay. Now we go 2000s. Who have we got? We've got Darren Bent. Just skip the 2000s completely.
Yep.
Darren Bent, Christian Benteke.
Yep.
Please tell me Jack Grealish isn't on there. He's not.
He
there.
just missed it. Just missed it.
Just missed it. Ashley Young.
Yes. Yep.
Stuart Downing. That's probably.
No.
Stilian Petrov.
No.
Lee Hendry.
Yes.
Right. I'll tell you what's helping me out. The 0607 Aston Villa Football Manager database. I'm just trying to memorise players from that.
Oh.
What's his name?
This is atrocious.
This is I think you were expecting me to be a lot better than I am. Ian Taylor.
Come on, there's some big names that you missed. Some big names.
Mate, I'm not thinking straight here. Big names. Not big names from what era? I need help. I'm calling assistance.
You've got 3 minutes and 28 seconds left. You can do whatever you want. This is since the creation of the Premier League till now. Okay, so you're missing some big names.
The 1990s, isn't it?
Yeah.
1990s onwards, big Villa names. Olaf Melberg. I don't know.
No, to be fair, I did look at the top 50 and he was amongst there, but no, he's not in the top 20.
I was going to say, I'm so embarrassed by this.
Come on, Dom, this is ridiculous. Come on.
I genuinely don't know. I'm so bad with Villa history. I used to be all right with it.
Yeah, I'm going to give you some hints.
Come on. Okay, give me hints. Give me some hints.
All right. I'm just going to say, let me look for one. Made the most up there with the most appearances for Aston Villa midfielder. He's played for Everton. Yep, Gareth Barry's up there.
I don't know. I didn't say him already. I just didn't think to say him.
He's a fan of the club. Quick forward.
Michael Bryan.
No, he was one of the players interviewed by the Claret and Blue podcast.
Oh no, if any of them see this, they're gonna kick me for not knowing this. I watch every episode of that bloody thing. Oh, what's his name?
I swear he's on there anyway. Come on. Starts with a G. His last name starts with an A. Come on, this is ridiculous. Come on.
G-A?
Yeah.
Gary Anders. No, what?
His first name starts with a G. His last name starts with an A. Come on.
Gavia Bonlahor.
Yes. John Michael
Carew.
Crazy there.
Gavia Bonlahor. John Carew.
Yes.
Gavia Bonlahor. John Carew. Get them on there.
Yep.
Come on. Alexander Tonev.
Oh my word!
You
might as well say Hellenius then. Come on, come on.
Jordan Bowery.
No, you are embarrassing yourself.
Wyman, Andy Wyman.
Yes.
Charles and Zogbia, please no.
I'll give you a clue for another one. The Magic Man.
The Magic Man.
The Magic Man played for Arsenal on their Harry's Heroes. No, come on.
On Harry's Heroes, player for Merce.
Yes, there you go.
I always get the time periods wrong with these players. I'm just really bad. I'm going to university, and one of the two subjects I'm applying for involves history, and this is
I'll give you another one. He presents Homes Under the Hammer.
Oh, Dion Dublin. What a
yes. I'll give you another one. He married Katie Price.
Oh, Dwight York.
Yes, there you go. I'm helping you now. There you go.
The only reason I know that is because some headlines come out about it recently. So I'm going to thank the world of Twitter for telling me that. Christ, you are carrying me through this, mate.
Yeah. We've got 34 seconds left. 34 seconds left. Come on. Getting a few more.
Right, I need to try and think now. I need to try and come up with one myself. Right. 2000s Villa players. Milosevic.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm taking that. That's a win. That I've won the whole challenge now, I've decided.
I mean, this is a joint effort.
Michael scored more top league goals for Villa than Alexander Tonev did.
Probably. Tonev was awful.
He scored one, that's a good fact, that is. Peter Schmeichel scored more goals for Aston Villa than Alexander Tonev in the league, I think.
That's it.
How many did I get?
You got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 out of 20.
I got 14 out of 20, about 10 of which were carried by you, so I'm not taking credit. I'll give myself like 5 or 6 at most.
I mean, if you could do better than Dom, please comment down below your scores. I mean, because Dom was atrocious.
Commiserations. I'll take this one as an L.
You were
I'm very
atrocious.
sorry about that.
Before we go, actually, we are currently running a giveaway on the channel, the
Yes.
Total Villan. That's a good plug. The Total Villan are giving away a brand new 2019 to 2020 AVFC home shirt straight from the club store, whatever size, men's, women's, youth. If you would like to enter, then please use the link in the description down below. So that is it. After that atrocious effort from Dom, that is it. That's the end of episode 1 of All Things Villa. I hope you enjoyed it, today's show. And please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the Total Villan if you haven't already. Thanks to Dom for accompanying me today. And thank you for listening from all of us. Stay safe, stay well, and up the Villa.
What I keep being too caught up by all my demons, lost without